Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to RiverWoods Exeter 101 program for April of 2024. We're going to give a minute for quite an extensive list of future prospects joining us today. So we're excited that all of you can join us for the next hour presentation on RiverWoods Exeter to learn a little bit more about who we are and what your future might be in store here in our community. So when we hit 1 o'clock in just a minute, myself and my colleague Chrissy, who is joining me today, will take you through our 1 hour program to learn a little bit more, and then we'll save a little time at the end for some questions as well. So everyone is having a wonderful day, a little rainy here in Exeter today, but what better way to spend the next hour with the two of us? So we're going to get started. We might have a few more people join us as we go along. So we're just going to get started. So my name is Dan Witham. I'm a sales counselor here with the RiverWoods Group in Exeter, New Hampshire. My colleague Chrissy Katie is joining us today. She is another sales counselor. And then our colleague Lisa Clark will not be on the call today, but some of you might be working with her. So this is just showing you who we are in our sales team here in Exeter. Over the next hour, just so everyone is aware, everyone will be on mute, so you don't have to be worried about being part of the presentation today. And just be seeing Chrissy, myself, and our slides. We do love to have questions, so if you'd like to submit a question, we usually ask people to wait through the presentation because many of your questions might be answered in the information we're providing. So the Q&A box is generally located at the bottom of your screen, so you can submit questions through there, and we'll try to get to those at the end of the program. And for people that are viewing us on a phone, it might be in a different location. We also love suggestions on how to improve our programming or our presentation today. So if you have any suggestions, you can certainly submit those through the Q&A box or contact one of our sales counselors directly. And again, if you have an idea for a future topic, please let us know. We love suggestions from our future prospects, potential future residents as well. So we're going to get started. We always like to start with how RiverWoods was founded, our mission, a little bit more about who we are. So RiverWoods was the dream of these two wonderful ladies, Mariana Hatch, who is from Durham, New Hampshire, and Rosemary Coffin, that was from Exeter, New Hampshire. So back in the 80s, they got together. It was a grassroots effort that they combined forces and started planning on building a community that people could thrive, meet new friends, get involved in causes, and not worry about that healthcare component as people were aging. So they got together, again, back in the mid-'80s and founded the RiverWoods Exeter, which opened back almost 30 years ago this year. So in November of 2024, RiverWoods Exeter, the Woods campus, will be 30 years old. So hard to believe, 30 years, a little over 30 years ago. And then Mariana Hatch was from Durham. Her dream of RiverWoods Durham was founded back in 2019 when RiverWoods Durham opened its doors. So really supplying a great need of resources, building a sense of community where people can get involved in those causes and that sense of healthcare when they do need it. So that's where we are founded and where we are today. RiverWoods today is made up of a family of communities, or a system of communities, how you look at it, of 3 communities currently. RiverWoods Exeter, that you are learning about today, again, started back in 1994. RiverWoods Manchester is our second community, and then RiverWoods Durham, founded in 2019. So those are our 3 continuing care retirement communities, part of the RiverWoods system. We have a CCR board. We are a not-for-profit organization. Our CCRC board is made up of community members and then also residents from each of our 3 communities. They will take care of our basically community operations and consulting with our system CEO, Justine Vogel, who has actually been with RiverWoods for almost 30 years herself in that case. The RiverWoods Group was founded. That is our supportive organization that provides professional fee-based services for all 3 of our RiverWoods communities. Things like finance, information technology, marketing, human resources, and quality control. So the RiverWoods Group was founded to really provide those services to all three of our communities and to assist each of our communities. They will also fund at-risk projects for the communities and do ventures. So as our communities look to expand or look for future opportunities, the RiverWoods Group would be part of that. We also have a system board that is focused on our mission and future growth, as our mission is really to serve more people at the most affordable cost that we can going forward. RiverWoods Exeter, as we are today, is made up of 3 neighborhoods, or we sometimes call them campuses here in the community. Our Woods campus is our largest at 201 apartments. It is a 2-story community. RiverWoods Exeter is located on 200 acres of land here, about 5 minutes from downtown Exeter. So the Woods campus is our founding community, again, 201 apartments, a very active, our largest population of any of our 3 neighborhoods. Our Ridge community came 10 years later, opened in 2004, so almost 20 years ago this year, and that is comprised of 81 apartments and 11 cottages, so outlying cottages not part of the internal building. And then the Boulders was our 3rd community or neighborhood, built in 2010, which includes 75 apartments and a few more cottages, 24 outlying cottages at the Boulders. So just under 400 apartments and cottages located here in our community, and just under 600 residents total for the RiverWoods Exeter community. All of our communities share services such as dining. We have resident-run libraries, community gathering spaces, multi-purpose rooms, art locations, and of course, outdoor areas as well. And as we go through our community programs today, Chrissy will talk to you about some of those services that we offer. Accreditation is another key important part when people are looking at a continuing care retirement community. Accreditation for RiverWoods Exeter is done by an organization called CARF, which is the Commission for Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. Every 5 years, a community can be accredited. In this case, RiverWoods Exeter was last done in 2019, is up for renewal at this point in time. RiverWoods Exeter was one of the earliest to receive accreditation. We fall in one of the top percentage categories in accredited communities around the country. If you are interested in learning more about accreditation of our community, you can certainly go to their website, which is www.carf.org, to learn more. We're going to talk a little bit about RiverWoods Exeter in our community. We are considered a life care community, or the term CCRC, which is a continuing care retirement community, where residents will come in as independent residents, live their best life, do all their daily living activities, and be part of a community. And as their needs change at some point in time, when residents are at that point of needing more healthcare resources, we have assisted living, memory support, and nursing care here in our community. So we are essentially an insurance product. So we're ensuring where your care is going to take place for the balance of your life once you first move in through the last days of your life. We have a very highly refundable entrance fee. We talk about the fees a little bit later on. So residents will pay an entrance fee when moving into the community. Here at RiverWoods Exeter, our most common contract is a 90% refundable entrance fee. So if you are looking to leave assets to your estate, beneficiaries, certainly it is a wonderful opportunity to do so and leave your legacy behind. It also preserves estate preservation for those people in your families or outside of them. Predictable monthly service fees are part of our programming here based upon your size of your apartment or cottage. The monthly service fees include things like dining, fitness, programming, local transportation, our wellness clinic, and then access to healthcare when you do need that. Again, those are very predictable monthly service fees that will cover all those costs, including utilities in your apartment. And again, we are a Type A continuing care retirement community here in Exeter. Type A is the best form of insurance with unlimited access to assisted living, nursing care, or any health care with no change in fees other than the cost of 2 additional meals. We love to talk about our healthcare resources. That is a key component when people are looking at a continuing care retirement community. Those resources include short-term resources and long-term resources to really support your current and future care needs as they take place. Our wellness clinics are staffed by our nurse practitioners, nurse, and our social worker team. We have 3 wellness clinics, one at each of our 3 neighborhoods here at RiverWoods Exeter. So they take care of basic needs, everything from walk-in hours, Monday through Friday for our residents. If you're not feeling well, as a first stop, take care of medication management, wound care, flu shots, and even can do lab work that is sent out. So a great resource for our residents. Residents still maintain their primary care provider, but our wellness team will work with the residents right here on site. We have assisted living apartments for singles or couples. We have memory support and nursing care, all private suites at any level of care here at RiverWoods Exeter. Assisted living apartments a little bit larger in scale with a small living, dining area, and then separate bedrooms, separate private bathrooms. As you move to higher levels of care and memory support and nursing care, all private suites with private bathrooms. We also offer respite care in our community. Respite care would be considered a short-term or temporary stay in healthcare. So if someone is recovering from an operation, a surgery, or some type of replacement and needs a temporary stay, especially for people that are partners or couples, it gives that other person that care they need without the other person becoming a caretaker. So that can be done unlimited days in our healthcare areas, and then just the other additional cost of those 2 meals. We have a medical director that oversees everything here at RiverWoods Exeter, Dr. Timothy Keenan, who is a local provider here in the Exeter healthcare system. He oversees our RiverWoods Exeter community. Again, residents will still remain their local primary care provider. And again, most services are covered by your monthly service fee at all levels of care here at RiverWoods Exeter. We'd like to also talk about our evolution or our current evolution of healthcare here at RiverWoods Exeter, where we are today and where things are going in the future. So today, we currently offer 3 healthcare lodges or healthcare centers, one at each of our 3 campuses, the Woods, Ridge, and Boulders. So one at each campus providing assisted living, long-term care, nursing care, and memory support. We also offer short-term rehab at one campus. And as you can imagine, people that are very aware of the current healthcare system and staffing, we are currently, like most communities, always worried about our future. And that includes staffing inefficiencies, limited amenities, and buildings that have been around, some cases 30 years here at our community. So where RiverWoods is now and where we are going is we'd like to talk about today. Our future, which will probably be in the next 3 to 4 years, if everything stays on track, is a one centralized healthcare center located in the center of our community, currently slated to be closer to the Ridge campus, which will provide all access to assisted living, long-term care, nursing care, short-term rehab, and distinct memory support. Again, all those private apartments or suites in this new building. The benefits of the new building are this biophilic design, which is more of an open space design with a lot of nature and natural surroundings, and based around expanded physical amenities and more outdoor space. State-of-the-art technology, technology in every field is expanding and ever-changing, and then really looking at staffing in the future for the next 15, 20, and 30 years of having one healthcare center that's centralized and having all those employees work out of one centralized location. So that is where we are today and what our future is looking at for our healthcare resources here at RiverWoods Exeter. We have this nice slide that really shows you some renderings that are offered. Our top left is showing you our drive-up access, the beautiful building that will be located hopefully over at the Ridge campus. And the bottom left is showing you some outdoor or kind of courtyard space where residents have outdoor access. And again, this is all at all stages of living, whether it's assisted living, memory support, or nursing care. And then some of our interior shots. Again, we're still learning a lot as we go forward, and hopefully soon we'll be able to share even more details moving forward. Some of the services and amenities here at RiverWoods Exeter include some of the following items. I will talk a little bit about each, and then Chrissy will go into a little more detail on some of these particular programs. We have a flexible dining program that is built into that monthly service fee. The flexible dining program is a points-based program where residents have access to either lunch or dinner at any of our 3 campuses. It is a dining points program that residents have the dining points built into that monthly service fee so they can choose when and how they like to dine. Even though all of our apartments offer full kitchens, many of our residents enjoy dinner or lunch. We also have takeout options, which we will talk about shortly. We have indoor fitness centers that include a full gym at each of our 3 campuses, and then a fitness classroom that will host fitness events Monday through Saturday in our community. And then one really great feature of RiverWoods Exeter is our indoor pools. They're indoor heated pools with a temperature generally in the low 80s at each campus. So if you're a person that likes to swim or likes water activities, those are something you can enjoy. Entertainment, social and cultural opportunities exist in our communities. That is one of the vibrant reasons many of our residents love our communities, is all the options to listen to local entertainment, speaker programs, and more. We also offer courtesy transportation for things like medical appointments, doctor's visits, pharmacy, grocery stores, local transportation. That is all provided in a 25-mile radius of RiverWoods Exeter. It is scheduled transportation, so people would schedule things in advance for that local transportation. So as residents are no longer driving or not wanting to drive any longer, that local transportation option is a great resource for them. We provide housekeeping on a bi-weekly basis. Housekeeping will come and clean your apartment. What better service to have for everyone here? And then flat linen service, which includes sheets and towels. They will launder those items and bring them back to your apartment. Those will be your own personal sheets and towels. Also, the best part of RiverWoods Exeter, or one of the better parts, is no longer having to worry about maintenance issues with your home. So here, all interior and exterior maintenance is provided by the community. So no more mowing the lawn, snow removal on those big storms. When an appliance needs repair or fixing, RiverWoods Exeter takes care of all those things for you. So a lot less worry coming into a community. Utilities are all built into our monthly service fee. So things like heat, hot water, air conditioning, those are all provided in your monthly service fee here at RiverWoods Exeter. The only additional charge is bundled phone service, internet, and cable, which is a $95 bundle per month that would be added to your monthly service fee. The wellness clinic we talked a little bit about, staffed by our nurse practitioner, nurse and social worker team at each campus, and then providing 24-hour security, so giving that sense of security living here in the community, and our emergency response e-call buttons that each resident will have the option of wearing anytime in the building. So if you have an emergency, not feeling well, a slip or a fall by chance, you can hit that emergency e-call button and someone from our staff will come to your assistance. So some of the great services and amenities that are available to you here in the community. Talk a little more about dining overview. We talked about that bank of dining points. Residents have about 18 dining points on our full program. We also have other programs available. So if residents still enjoy cooking in their own apartment or not taking dining on a regular basis, you can go to a lower points program that would save you money on your monthly service fee. Those dining programs include eating in any of our dining rooms, takeout, guest meals. So if you're having family or relatives visiting, your dining points would cover them as well. Some light catering, and then grocery items in any of our marketplaces. So those dining points are very flexible in nature. You can use them however you like, and they also roll over at the end of the month, so you're never losing your dining points. So if you only use 15 points in a given day and you have 18 points, those 3 points would roll over. You can dine at any of our 5 different restaurants across our 3 campuses. The food, though, is very similar at each campus, so we try to keep our food very similar in nature. So the food at the Ridge is not better than the Woods or the Boulders in that particular case, but each campus has a little different style of dining, some with casual options and then outdoor options as well. So if you're a resident that likes to get outdoors in the summer, we have those outdoor dining options. We are sensitive to dietary preferences. Any one of our residents that has dietary issues, whether they're vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or other services, our dining services are really good about working with our residents on those things. And then locally resourced foods, fresh ingredients from the local seacoast area. We're only about 20 minutes out to the ocean, so we get wonderful fresh seafood, and then get locally sourced foods from local farms and purveyors in the area. So a very robust dining program here in the community. This is a picture of our Boulders dining room. It's got the beautiful vaulted ceilings with the beautiful architectural beams that are up there, a beautiful center fireplace, really a great setting for residents to enjoy dining. And then towards the front, the outdoor dining area, we have a beautiful awning that comes off of the building for that area. This is our newly updated Ridge dining room. At the Ridge, we have a traditional dining space and then the bistro area, which is shown in this picture, which is a little more casual dining. So no tablecloths, and residents can still order and have food delivered to their tables. Again, showing you the beautiful fireplaces that are in all of our dining areas. And then to the right is an outdoor dining component as well. This is a depiction of our country store. This is at the Woods campus. Each of our 3 campuses has a country store, or think of this as convenience for our residents. These are resident-run stores where our residents volunteer their time to maintain the stores. You can see many items of everyday convenience, such as cereal. You'll see napkins, paper towels. We have greeting cards, batteries, your favorite cracker snack, whatever it may be. So a lot of local items as well, some local resource items, and then some resident items as well. So these stores are available to our residents. Any fees here in these stores would be added to your monthly service fee, and all the items are at cost. So whatever the purchase price is, we pass that along to residents. But think of it as convenience when you need that 1 item or 2 items. And then we have some residents that do many of their shopping days right in our country stores in the community. So I'm going to turn it now over to my colleague, Chrissy, who is going to take you inside of the community in a little more depth in many of our programs and opportunities. And take it away, Chrissy.
Thanks, Dan, and good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to be here. I'll be reviewing some of the many activities we have here and walk you through some of our apartment styles and go over some of the fun stuff. You're looking right now at a picture of Boulders Hall in our Boulders campus. This is the largest gathering space that we have here. It can seat up to 200 people, theater style. And we have 3 large spaces, one in each campus. Our Ridge room at the Ridge, Boulders Hall at the Boulders, and the Great Bay room at the Woods. So every campus has the opportunity to host wonderful parties, events, lectures, and wonderful concerts, as well as community updates for all of the residents. The recent events we've held at our Boulders Hall include events such as including our author, Dan Brown. We've had former presidential candidates that have come in here during our primary season. Our last one, notable one, it was Chris Christie. This is a new slide, relatively new slide, and we wanted to make sure, and I'm sorry, my light goes off when I'm not moving around, so I'm gonna just turn that on. Oh dear. Well, I don't know what to do. Hold on one second. My office doesn't like it when I don't move around enough. But this is a notable slide that we've wanted to include to talk about our active education committee. We have an all-campus committee, so all 3 campuses are involved in this committee. And the mission of our education committee is to provide enrichment opportunities to our residents through many educational programs, lectures, short courses, and it caters to a wide variety of interests. So we use both outside speakers outside of our community, and we also use residents as well. Our committee, as I mentioned, is resident run. They meet regularly to discuss the opportunities and ideas for the lectures, trips, and courses. And then they also review committee duties and work in collaboration with our community life team to promote the events and also to reserve our space on campus. Just to give you an idea of how active they are, in 2023, we had more than 20 in-person programs provided across all 3 campuses. And the topics covered, as I mentioned, a wide variety of interests, including the arts, history, performances, crafts, archaeology, science, local services and town departments, and issues around aging, and many, many more. Right now, at our Woods campus, actually all three of our campuses, we have wonderful libraries. Again, also run by a very active library committee. They have a budget, so they will meet and discuss which books to purchase. But they're also run by our residents, and our volunteer residents are always there at the library to help. It's a great place to be if you just want to go down there in the morning to read the newspaper, go over there in the afternoon to read some of our periodicals. It is interconnected, so if you're at the Woods campus looking for a particular book and can't find it there, our card catalog will show whether they have that book at the Ridge or Boulders campus, and you are able to have that sent over if you'd like to see that. The other nice thing about being a resident of Exeter, the town of Exeter, is that you also have the privileges of our wonderful Exeter Town Library. So moving on from our mind to our body. So no matter what, it is very easy here to stay active here. Between our pools, one at each campus, as you saw, one of our fitness cardio rooms, fitness classes. We have a wonderful fitness team here. And we also have walking groups and cycling and hiking groups. We have 2 pickleball courts at our Gooch Park. So between all of those things, I think you can find something that you enjoy to do to stay active. In particular, this Boulders pool is a wonderful place for people who like to swim laps. It's a 20-yard long pool with a couple of lanes available. But not only that, it's a wonderful pool for fitness classes. We have a wonderful aqua aerobics class that is held here and at each pool every 2 or 3 days a week. And it also includes a hot tub at each campus as well. We just had a resident group that decided it would be fun to start an aqua volleyball group. So every Wednesday afternoons, they will meet either at our Woods or Ridge pool. And just to let you know the temperature of our water, we usually keep it somewhere in between 84 to 88 degrees, trying to keep the swimmers happy and the people who just like to enjoy the pool. I think we were over at the Woods campus yesterday and we tested the water and it was 86 degrees. If you like to swim, you might also like to use our cardio rooms. This is available at each of our campuses, close to our pool areas as well. It's available at all times, so there's really no excuse that not to get in your 30 minutes of cardio. It's a nice place too if you like to create your own programs and do your own workouts and not rely on a class and a particular time. We also have 2 pickleball courts, started with 1, and, it was such a popular sport, we were asked by residents to add a second court. They're both outdoors. We have a lot of, pickleball players who just love to be out there during the wonderful weather. Um, they are also quite a welcoming group, so they've, hosted some instructional sessions, and they're always ready to support a new person who wants to try a new sport. After your workout and you've exercised your body, you may want to start exercising the right side of your brain. So we have also endless opportunities to explore your creative side. We have an art studio, at least one in each campus. This one is a picture of one of our residents who had been an artist in his past, but life got ahead of him and he was busy with other things. So as soon as he moved here, he started becoming really inspired by some of our artists here. And now you can see him every morning in our Woods campus, Pinkham Art Studio, perfecting his craft. We also have some regional artists who come in to teach painting classes, and other artists that residents who've come in and love to teach drawing classes, pottery classes. We have a wonderful Nantucket basket weaving group of people who love to teach and learn how to weave baskets. This is our Pinkham Art Studio, and this is where you'll see our resident in the morning. The painters particularly love this art studio because it lets a lot of light in through those um, two sets of doors there. The light comes, rushing in the mornings. So you'll often see our painters there. You can also see from this picture the variety of things that are done there. On your lower left corner is one of our Nantucket baskets that is in the process of being woven. If you like to work with wood and you're an artist with wood, we have another very active woodworking committee. We have two wonderful wood shops, one at the Woods campus and one at the Ridge campus. And you're looking at some of our residents who like to perfect their craft in woodwork, anywhere from creating the trails to our walking trails throughout the campuses and benches to provide as well, to canoe paddles, cabinets, furniture, and even cutting boards. They're quite active. If you like to exercise your musical talent, that's another important part of our community. And we have everything from small instrumental groups to small singing groups, such as our Women's Barbershop Quartet. We had a woman who wanted to learn how to play the recorder, so she got a group together to learn how to play, and they're now playing very intricate pieces, and they meet once a week to do so. We have string quartets and ukulele groups. And we also have a RiverWoods chorus that performs. They meet Tuesday afternoons regularly and have two concerts a year where they perform at our Boulders and Woods campus. So there's a variety of things you can get involved in. If you have a particular talent you'd like to share, there's always an opportunity for you to start a new group. It's getting warm outside, still a little bit wet out there, but I'm sure a lot of you who already have very special gardens where you live are looking forward to going out and pursuing your passion of flora and fauna. So if you love to garden and you're worried about leaving your gardens behind, don't worry, we have a lot of opportunities for you here as well. We have our raised garden beds at each campus, which you can reserve a full or a half as the spring comes in. And we also have a very active garden committee who works alongside our landscaping team to create and maintain our beautiful gardens throughout the campus. We make every effort to practice organic landscaping techniques. We're committed to exploring new ways to become even greener. And some interesting facts about RiverWoods. We are home to New Hampshire's largest arboretum with over 300 species of trees and shrubs here. We happen to have some beehives that are maintained by two of our staff beekeepers and are with the help of our resident beekeepers. And we've been so successful with our honey that we are now selling it in our country stores here. And then we also have a barn located over at the Boulders campus with three goats that we inherited from a nearby farm, which is also really fun to show your grandchildren when they come. Now we'll move on to our apartments and cottage features. We'll look at a few of our living spaces here. You probably know if you've looked at our website that we have over 40 different floor plans across all three of our campuses here. So we'll show you some examples of apartments and cottages of the various sizes here as we move along. One of the things I'll point out in our apartments is that each one of our apartments always contains a solarium, which brings a lot of really beautiful light, natural light into our apartments. And then, of course, each resident is assigned parking spaces outside. We do have some other opportunities for covered parking options at each campus with a varied pricing structure. And our cottages have 2-car garages as well. On to apartments. Right now, you are looking at one of our large one-bedrooms at the Woods campus. This is called a trillium. If you're looking at the floor plans, as you can see in the far corner there, that is the solarium that's letting in all of that beautiful light. You can also see some examples of the new finishes we are creating with our standards. And the living room floor has some of our luxury vinyl flooring options. This is the same apartment, and you're now looking at the kitchen. And again, if we need to replace cabinets, we are using a nice white painted cabinet, shaker style. You have choices of either quartz or granite for your countertops, and also stainless steel appliances. Our Magnolia apartments are a large two-bedroom over at the Ridge. And you can see that we are opening up our kitchens. So you can see a nice, beautiful, ample counter space there, which looks out into our living room and then further into our solarium. A nice, bright, open, airy space for you to furnish the way you've already been furnishing your beautiful homes. And this is always a fun shot to look at. As somebody did have fun, one of our residents coming in with their favorite pieces from home. They were able to create their own space in this apartment by just adding their favorite furniture that they brought with them. This is a Cypress apartment, a regular two-bedroom at our Boulders campus. The kitchens are also pretty ample. You're actually looking at a kitchen in our Spruce Cottage over at the Boulders. And it does show you some examples here of the granite, the luxury vinyl flooring, the stainless steel appliances, and just some great space if you still like to cook. Of course, our location is wonderful. You're going to be not always going to be in our community, so you'd want to know what's out and about around you. We are, as Dan mentioned, 5 minutes away from downtown Exeter. We are a part of 200 acres here near the Exeter River. We have very easy access to Portsmouth. Manchester's 30 minutes away. Portland and Boston are both an hour away. So great proximity to all of those areas, including the mountains and lakes region of New Hampshire. You probably already know, if you've been doing your homework, that New Hampshire has many tax advantages. We have no general sales tax, no personal income tax, no capital gains. We are one of the top ranked New England states and the fifth lowest tax burden in the country. So I'm sure some of you may already know that as you are planners. Now we'll go over a little bit of the pricing. You can certainly reach out to your sales counselors after this information session for more specific information. But as I mentioned, we have over 40 different floor plans, and they range in size from our studio apartments, which range square footage wise, just about 600 square feet. All the way to our cottages, which can be almost 2,400 square feet. So the prices range, entrance fees anywhere from about 224,000 entrance fee all the way to almost or $1 million entrance fee with a second person entrance fee of 55,000, and that's not does not depend on apartment size. The first person entrance fee would depend on the size of the apartment you're taking. And the monthly service fees range from anywhere from about $3,000 a month to about $9,000 a month, with the second person of almost 2,000. So the first person is always based on apartment size. Second person is always that 55,000 and 1,987 fee. And now I'll turn it back over to Dan.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. So we're going to talk about next steps. I know this for some people, this is your first introduction to RiverWoods Exeter. For some of you, you might have already come for a tour or have started to learn more from talking to a sales counselor. So we're going to talk about really what the next steps might be for a person who is interested in looking at joining our wait list. We always like to show this slide. It's a great slide. We do have 2 bocce ball courts here in our community. These are some of our residents. It's a tradition here at RiverWoods Exeter that residents will wear fun socks to play bocce ball. So you can see great energy and enthusiasm of these residents ready to take place. So just a fun slide to talk to you before joining our wait list potentially here. So our process here at RiverWoods Exeter of how you would go about joining our wait list. So we'd like to talk about this because it's a really essential part of our community. Currently, RiverWoods Exeter, we have wait times that can be estimated 2 to 6 years and even a little bit more on certain apartment styles or cottages. The wait times really depend on the floor plan and then also your particular preferences. So if you're a person that has a preference for a first floor apartment, a balcony, a porch, or a particular facing direction of the sun, sometimes those wait times will extend past what you see here on our sheet. But anticipated 2 to 6 years for most apartment styles, with 1 bedrooms being a little on the shorter side and larger 2 bedrooms being on the longer side. How to apply or start the process? We start with a financial qualification. We call that a CDP or confidential data profile. That confidential data profile will ask you questions such as, are you selling your home, apartment, cottage, whatever you have personally? Some people are keeping their current home. Some people are selling it to pay a portion of the entrance fee. Other financial assets, including any financial resources you have, and then current income from Social Security, pensions, and more. So your financial qualifications will be determined based upon our actuarial software that we use, which bases upon your financial qualification and then age in particular. Once you're financially qualified, then you can join our wait list. We do have what we call a reservation fee. The reservation fee is really to create a priority position on our wait list that you would be determined a number, and then when you get to the top of the list, offered an apartment. Those reservation fees range from $25,000 for a studio, small 1-bedroom, up to $99,000 for a cottage or a larger 2-bedroom. We do have about 5 or 6 different categories of reservation fees. Certainly reach out to your sales counselor. They can provide that information to you. That reservation fee is fully refundable if you are on a wait list and change your mind, move to another community or somewhere across the country. The reservation fee also will earn 4% simple annual interest. So we have an interest incentive program as long as you would move or close and move into RiverWoods Exeter. If you were decide you were not going to move in, that reservation fee is fully refundable for any reason. You would have a $1,000 cancellation fee that would be imposed, and you would make market rate interest instead of the 4% simple annual interest on your return. And then the best part we always like to mention, and many people have confusion, so we always like to make a note of this, is the flexibility of telling us when you are ready. We do have wait times, so certainly those will be incorporated into any waitlist agreement, but we will also ask you what your timeline is for moving into RiverWoods Exeter, whether that be any time such as now or immediately, or in 4, 5, 6, or 10 years. So you set your time frame of when you want that first phone call when an apartment or cottage comes available. When that apartment or cottage comes available, you get to determine whether you're ready to accept an offer. So if it is not good timing, you're traveling, it came too early, it's not the right apartment, you can decline for any reason and you maintain your place on the wait list. So we always like to say flexibility is an important part of joining our wait list with our wait times and then whatever your time frame is for moving into our community. We'd also like to go over, we call some frequently asked questions. I know a few people have started submitting some questions, and we will certainly get to those shortly. But me and Chrissy are going to go over a few commonly asked questions because these come up on a regular basis when we are doing appointments and tours. So our first question is, I have long-term care insurance policy, or LTC, as many people call it, and can I use this at RiverWoods Exeter? So in this particular case, if you have a long-term care insurance policy. We at RiverWoods Exeter are basically long-term care insurance. So if you do have that policy as an independent resident, generally would not apply unless you're bringing in home health care services. When you get to that point of transitioning, going to a higher level of care in one of our lodges or healthcare centers, you can get reimbursed from your long-term care provider. You would still provide RiverWoods Exeter your monthly service fee. You'd open up a claim with your long-term care insurance provider, and they would reimburse you based upon whatever aspects of your plan. So it can work sometimes mutually with RiverWoods Exeter. Some people have long-term care insurance. Some people do not. It's not certainly required, but it is an opportunity that you can use that here at RiverWoods Exeter in the future. Next question I'm going to give to Chrissy to go over.
Sure. The second question here, what happens if one partner in a couple needs a higher level of care? Of course, when you're coming into our community as an independent resident, both of you will have to live independently or be able to be qualified to live independently. Once you are here, if one partner starts to need a little higher level of care, you may move into an assisted living apartment or a nursing care private room, and your spouse can stay in your independent apartment. So you'll, in essence, be in two different places. You'll, one of you will be in an independent apartment, the other one will be in assisted living, and you will still be paying the same monthly service fee that you did when you were both living in independent living. The as we mentioned earlier, the only additional fee for that would be your 2 extra meals per day, because in independent living, you have 1 meal a day or a choice of points towards 1 meal a day, and in healthcare we are required to provide 3 meals a day, and that's about $600 a month extra.
And Chrissy, you want to do the next question as well, since you're going?
Sure. What if I'm not ready to move when you call me about an apartment? Do I go to the bottom of the list? So Dan has already done a really nice job explaining this one earlier, but we'll go over it again. It's always nice to keep hearing it. Um, what happens when you're next on the wait list and you are interested in receiving a call from us? We'll give you a call and let you know that something is coming available and wondering what your readiness looks like, and if you're interested in pursuing the offer. If you're on, if we're just talking on the phone and you're deciding, no, we're not ready. We're going on a long trip, so we can't even start to think about pursuing an offer right now. We just move to the next person on the list, and there's no penalty at all. Um, if you say that you are interested in pursuing this offer, that's when we start to conduct the financial and medical qualifications. So once you requalify financially and you have your medical qualification with our nurse practitioner, which is a in-person health assessment, once you qualify for both of those, we would show you the apartment. This would be considered a formal offer, and you would often meet with our move-in specialist to go over personalizations at that time. And if that at that point you decide not to take the apartment, that would be considered a refusal. That's one refusal. You have the 3 opportunities to go through that process, and before you would go to the bottom of the list.
It's a great question and quite common and quite often asked. The last question, frequently asked question we have is, how long do I have to move in once I'm offered an apartment or cottage? So the process will be fast for some people or seem very quick for many. So from accepting an offer, going through that financial qualification and health assessment, qualifying, seeing an apartment or cottage, and then saying, yes, you want to move forward. From the acceptance of an offer to the move-in timeframe is about 60 days for most apartments. For a cottage, it could be up to 90 days. So it is a very short-term cycle from saying yes to when you have to put your home on the market, to sell, downsize, move to RiverWoods, make all those decisions on a short-term basis. So we do understand it is a very short cycle and can be very stressful for people. So many times, kind of the question before is when you get a call about being ready, many people really do have to consider, is it the right timing? Are you emotionally ready? Are you ready? Have you hired a mover? Have you thought of downsizing before you get a call from RiverWoods? So some things are very important to consider. We do a lot of programming at RiverWoods really to get our residents ready. So when that phone call comes, it does not come as hopefully a surprise very often. So thank you, Chrissy, for going through some of those as well. We like to also promote our many online events and updates and different events that are happening in the near future. This particular one, we definitely want to stress. Many of you could be our first time learning about Riverwoods today, or a second or a multiple time. We have a great program that we do every year. It's called Why I Made the Leap. It's a resident panel activity. This is going to be an online program, a 1-hour program on Wednesday, May 1st. So if you want to hear from residents why they chose RiverWoods Exeter, what struggles, what challenges, what made them make the decision, why they moved here, whether it's for family or other reasons, this is a great program to attend. You can register by scanning the QR code here on the screen if you are tech savvy and can do that in a very short amount of time. Or you can go onto our website, riverwoodsnh.org, which is our new website as of last December, and attend an event. You can do it riverwoodsnh.org/Exeter, or just attend the event to register. Or you can contact us at RiverWoods Exeter in person. So that's a great upcoming event. I highly recommend you joining us. If you're not able to join that day, you can still register and then get a recorded version of the program that day. We also would love to tell you a little bit about our Seniority Authority podcast. This lovely lady here on the slide is Kathleen Toomey. She is one of our VPs, or she is Director of Mission Advancement. It's a lot to say in one title here. So she is always looking to advance the mission that RiverWoods was created around, of serving more people. So she does a wonderful series of podcasts on aging, or getting smarter about growing older. So she will interview experts in different fields, from physicians, researchers, scientists, and industry experts, really to see how aging is developing, how aging is changing. So they're bite-sized episodes, about 20 to 30 minutes in length. So if you are a person that enjoys podcasts or would like to learn more, check them out at Seniority Authority. So now Chrissy and myself are going to start taking some questions. I know a few of you have started asking some questions. Please use that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So if you can think of a question or two that you'd like to ask us live, certainly we'll do our best to answer those questions in our time allotted today. So we're going to get to some of those here. Again, if you like to learn more about RiverWoods, you can check us out on social media via Facebook or Instagram, soon coming to TikTok potentially here, or you can just email us at info@rwexeter.org. So we're going to start taking some questions here. So let's see if we can get to those questions here. Let's see. So our first question, do you want to take the first one, Chrissy?
Sure. Yep. The comment on religious services and activities. I can tell you that most of those are resident driven. So we do have some religious services that will occur here based on kind of invitations from the residents who have been able to organize that. We do have our campus service vehicles, which will take people to services on Sundays. And they're able to drive people there and pick them up. If you want more specific information on that, you can certainly reach out, and I will get more information from our community life team, and maybe one of the residents who's kind of in charge of bringing people in.
Perfect. Next question is, we have a question on pet restrictions at our properties or our campuses here. So RiverWoods in general is a pet-friendly community. Residents can have up to 2 pets per household. Typically, you'll see residents with cats or dogs. Currently, it is National Pet Day today. So funny, good question that came through. We have residents that will walking around with pets, and we have a great pet display at our Woods campus currently right now. So no size restriction, no age restriction. Most people have to move in with a pet, or you'd have to get, so most people have their pet when they move here. And again, we have a pet policy that residents would have to obey and sign and go through, but we are a pet-friendly community. So great question.
And Dan, I'll just add that they are not allowed in the dining spaces. There are certain areas where pets are not allowed, and they must be on leashes at all times, just for safety of residents and other pets.
Great. Do you want to go to the next question, Chrissy?
Let's see, which one? Let me just make sure I'm looking
There
at
you
the
go.
right one. Can the entrant, let's see,
Be from
which one?
Linda. Question from Linda.
Linda Morris, balance of couples versus singles. So we have right now, it's about 49% singles, 51% couples.
Common question people ask too. So good question,
Mhm,
Linda.
mhm.
Next question. We see there are guest rooms at each campuses. Are we allowed to have overnight guests in our unit, providing we have a spare bedroom? So the answer is yes. It is your home. So think of it as a home that you would have outside of the community. So you are allowed to have guests stay in your individual apartment. We do have cots available. So if you don't have a large second bedroom or den, certainly a cot is an example. And then we have 2 guest suites that are available at each of our 3 neighborhoods or campuses. Those have a nightly rate. They have to be reserved in advance. And you can imagine holiday periods are a little more difficult than others. And then we do have rates at local hotels in the area, so the Exeter Inn and another hotel in the area, so reduced rates. But definitely, residents are allowed to have people stay in their home. Next question.
Let's see, is that from Linda as well? The entrance fee considered, is the entrance fee considered purchase for federal capital gains? Is that the question that I'm?
Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that one. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So our because we are an insurance product, long-term care insurance product, your entrance fee is considered, or just the 10% portion, which is non-refundable, is considered a prepaid medical expense. So you would get a tax deduction on that. You would also get a tax deduction on your monthly service fee. Because again, it's considered a prepaid medical expense. Our finance team will usually send out a memo once a year to give you that amount so that you can give that memo and information to your accountant if you'd like. It's generally about 30%, I believe, Dan. I don't know if that's correct.
It's a little over
A
30%
little
this
over
year.
30.
Yep, it can change year to year. So.
Mhm.
Mhm. Next question is from, does the monthly service fee change? The answer are yes. Fees unfortunately do change. The entrance fee is not guaranteed until you accept an offer. So if you are getting on the wait list now and not moving for 5 years, the entrance fee can change until that time you get an offer. The monthly service fees do change from year to year, and even as you are a resident of RiverWoods. Again, cost of inflation, services, goods, staffing, all those are factored into that monthly service fee. The history of RiverWoods Exeter has been around 3%. I will say the last 2 years, it's been much higher at 6% and 8% coming out of our COVID times, and really making up for the large increase in cost of labor and goods and services. The average, we generally think they're probably going to be around that 5% number, or estimating around 5%. But again, we have a resident finance committee that's highly involved and knows where those fees come from. But the fees do change yearly on the monthly service fees. You want to take the next question, Christy?
Sure, from Linda. Are your 3 refusals per each unit type, or for any or all of the floor plans? So do we prioritize only those units which we want, or for which we want to be called? Yeah, so what you would do when you realize, when you find out what you're financially qualified for, is you determine which category style you'd like to get on our wait list for. So if you like the large 2 bedrooms, I believe that's category E. So you pay that entrance fee, but you can also add other apartment sizes and styles that are not in that category. So for instance, if you wanted a large 2-bedroom, but you were worried about time frame, so you wanted to add a 1-bedroom plus den, you can add those, and you can give us specific apartment names and styles that you would like to be on the list for. So you could say, I want to be on the list for a goldenrod and a barberry, and only those two. And we would only call you for that apartment type. But if you are interested in all large 2 bedrooms, we would put you on the list for all large 2 bedrooms and call you for any of those that came available.
Great. A couple other questions here. The reservation fee, we're sorry, there was a lot of word term fees. Reservation fee is what you pay to get on the wait list. The entrance fee is paid when you move into an apartment. So they are two separate things in that particular case. A couple other questions scrolling down. There was a question about, is it 10% down for the reservation fee? The reservation fee is a flat or a fixed number based upon apartment styles per category. So not 10% down. In the past, there was a lot of communities, even RiverWoods at one point was a 10% deposit, but they're reservation fees now. So if you want more information on reservation fees and their amounts, reach out to your sales counselor. They can provide that for you. Do you want to talk about car charging stations, Chrissy?
Car charging, yep, I'm not seeing the question, but I can certainly do that. We are in the process of putting together a car charging station, kind of just out of the planning stages, getting close to the actual, actually putting it in. I believe it will have the ability to charge 4 cars. It will be located currently at our Woods campus, but it can be used by our residents and staff. And then in the next year's budget, I believe they're putting a charging station in for the Boulders campus. So there'll be one on either side. And we'll, kind of play it by ear from there based on need and how the first charging station goes. So we are definitely putting one in, and it will be probably in the next few months will be operational.
And another update too, and not a question, but I recently we're adding solar to a lot of our garages at the Woods. So we have a great recycling program, solar, electric vehicle stations. So really looking at the future, maintaining that future for all of us. We are coming up on the 2 o'clock hour, so I do apologize if your question did not get answered. Certainly, we will try to reach out to you and get those answers, or you can call us direct so we can do that. We're trying to watch everyone's time schedule today. Finishing up here today, just going to try to get to this next slide. If you'd like to learn more, as I said earlier, riverwoodsnh.org is our website. You can go to our Exeter community from that website to learn more about RiverWoods Exeter, or reach out to us directly. Schedule a consultation or tour appointment with Chrissy, myself, or our colleague Lisa, and then apply to join that wait list. We always say do it before you think you need it, because that wait time can sometimes be a little bit of time to consider. So joining that wait list is a really smart decision. If you have family, they will appreciate it. If you have a spouse or a partner, they will appreciate it as well. So we want to thank everyone for joining us today for this hour presentation. Hopefully we will see you in person, or join us for our next presentation, our panel discussion of why I made the leap, upcoming in May. Have a great afternoon on behalf of my colleague Chrissy and myself.